and I think it helps a lot with dealing with all this nonsense. I recommend you guys to do that as well. Try to find your zone. Try to find the place where you feel that you can just be. Even if this shit gets really crazy, take your precautions and whatnot, but don't let it get to you. Anyway, what do I want to talk about today? It's kind of an interesting topic. It's about the society that we live in. We live in a, I don't know if you know this, but I'm sure you noticed that we live in a low trust society. What do I mean by that? Well, a low trust society is a society where all the members, citizens, participants do not and cannot trust each other. You see this quite commonly here in the developed nations, such as, excuse me, so called civilized nations, Europe, America, whatever. You can't trust nobody. There is no trust. Actually, trusting people is going to lead to a lot of negative outcomes. It will lead to you getting backstabbed and harmed in many ways. And you constantly see this is that everybody around you is scheming and plotting against all the people that they encounter and trying to figure out a new way that they can screw them over and harm them and do a lot of horrible things to them and that kind of stuff. So everybody's just basically scheming against everyone else. It is needless to say that this is not normal, or at least by nature's dictum, it is not normal. In nature, you would be living in a tribe of around 50 to about 100 people. You would pretty much know everyone in the tribe. You would have a very deep connection with all the members of the tribe, and you would actually be able to trust the people around you. Not only would you be able to trust them, it would actually be necessary to trust the people around you. The reason for it is because of survival needs. Because you live in a society, if it's like a hunter-gatherer primitive tribe, where you have to trust the people around you because you have to cooperate and work together so that you can achieve survival, so that you can work together and survive and go out there and hunt and bring food and protect yourself from predators and other tribes that might be attacking you and that kind of stuff. So it is not just a necessity, it's not just a desire that you want to trust the people around you, although this is actually built into you as a human. Humans have a need for trust. It's actually a necessity. Humans are just built that way. We're programmed, in such a way that we need to trust the people around us, and that's how it would have been in nature. But it's not just a desire or something that you want to fulfill. It's something that is actually necessary. You need it for survival purposes. And people that live in nature, people who are primitive hunter-gatherer tribes or pastoralist tribes that grow cattle and that kind of stuff, they need to trust the members. They need to have a homogeneous, cohesive society so that they can work together and survive. Not being able to trust somebody in a tribe would lead to a lot of negative outcomes, and that member, as soon as they're identified, would be kicked out of the tribe because it would jeopardize their survival. Now, obviously, I want to talk about the reasons why this is not considered to be a necessity anymore in modern times in such a civilized society is because people believe that we have, as a result of as a result of civilization, they believe that humans have evolved beyond the need for, bare survival and beyond the need for trust. Because our survival is in this modern society is no longer dependent on the people around us or the members of some tribe. It is basically dependent on you being able to function within a system. So it's not really necessary for you to make sure that somebody else can be trusted or not. Actually, it makes no difference for you because you can backstab and be as distrustful and cynical as you want to be. It would make no difference to you at all. Actually, in this society, it would help you to it would help you to become stronger, and it would help you to achieve the goals that you want to achieve, whatever they might be. Let's say if you have some kind of financial or political aspirations, being untrustworthy and untrusting and cynical would actually help you in this society. So it's just this society, in the way that it has developed, they believe that they have evolved beyond the need for trust, but what's really happening is actually a lowering of standards. Some of the basic standards that were taken for granted a long time ago are being degraded. We are being forced to live in a society which is unhealthy and toxic, and we are being forced to accept certain things which are below the normal, let's say, golden standard, which the golden standard would be, in my opinion, the primitive tribes, the hunter-gatherer tribes, living in a cohesive, homogeneous group of 100 people that you can trust, that you know personally, that you would need to cooperate with in order to survive, and that kind of stuff. This is all gone. And of course, I want to mention something about Nietzsche. I don't know if you guys know Nietzsche. You could read some of his books. I don't have I don't have a lot of positive opinions about Nietzsche. I curse him on a daily basis. I'm joking. I don't do that. But yeah, I don't like Nietzsche. I think he was a moron. But he did say some things which do make sense. I mean, he's wrote a book called Thus Spoke Zarathustra, and you can read that book. It's an interesting book. He made also a division between the Übermensch and Untermensch. Basically, he made a classification that there are some people who are superhuman and some people who are below or subhuman. I'm not going to go into too much details about that, but there's some good stuff there to look into. It's not too bad. But this, Übermensch, Untermensch shit is only necessary as a classification in the modern society, in a supposedly civilized society. But the problem is that what Nietzsche doesn't realize is that naturally, people living in nature, in a hunter-gatherer tribe, there is no hierarchy, because everybody would be considered to be equal. There is no one who is on top and people who are on the bottom. There is no hierarchy. Everybody is considered to be equal, on equal footing. And as long as you function within the tribe for the ultimate purpose of the tribe, which is to get resources, food, and procreate, then you will be accepted by the tribe and welcomed, and there is not going to be any problems. It's actually, once you deviate from that's when you're going to have problems with the tribe. But as far as hierarchy is concerned, there is not really a hierarchy. There's no like top-down structure of like, I'm the powerful person on top and you're like below me and you're a slave. There is no such concept in nature, because you need to use the members as resources for survival. So there's not really any opportunity for somebody to hog all the resources or all the power or whatever, because it would lead to conflict and it will lead to a lot of problems. Also, I mean, if you find yourself in the wilderness living amongst hunter-gatherers, you would quickly notice that there's just no, because there's no economy and there's no finances, all the people care about is living their lives, being happy, protecting themselves, and getting food, and women obviously to procreate. So there's just no need for hierarchy. Hierarchy is actually a result of civilization. It's because once you build civilization, you start building cities, and you raise, you grow crops, for example, and that leads to cash and money, and the concept of money and currency and building wealth. That's when people start to have unequal levels of wealth. Some people become really wealthy and powerful, and some people become very poor and downtrodden or not powerful. So yeah, I mean, this is just a difference. But is it natural to live in a society where you cannot trust people? No, it is not naturally. Of course, this is also a big part of all the mental illnesses that we're seeing in the society, and the supposed evolved society. There's a lot of mental illness, a lot of depression, bipolar, schizophrenia, all sorts of mental disorders, psychopathy, narcissism, all this kind of stuff. And all these problems, a lot of times, are caused by the stress that is involved with living in such a toxic society. But it's also linked to the low trust. It's related to the lack of trust, because people living in a lack of trust leads to insecurity. It leads to a lot of mental problems. It's mentally damaging. It's not mentally healthy. Anyway, that was just my 2 cents about the concept of trust and how it applies to society, and why this society is completely, you know, and obviously in nature you would not have any issues with trust, because you would be able to trust all the people around you. And of course, anybody that would be caught doing anything really weird, and if you're living a hunter-gatherer tribe, for example, in nature, and it's been proven that you cannot be trusted, immediately that would be corrected. And if it is not being corrected, you would be banished or killed. There would be no joke about this, because the survival of the entire tribe would actually be dependent on being able to trust all the members of that specific society. Anyway, guys, I hope that you like this video, and if you do, like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.